Guys, so today I thought I'd make something really simple. It's a meal based with some really cheap corned beef. I'm not a fan of corned beef, but I thought I've got a lot of it in the house, and let's just try and make something. And I saw this thing the other day. It's like a Mediterranean, not Mediterranean, Israeli food, a shakshuka, and it's a tomatoey thing with lots of eggs in it. But I thought I'd go a step further and put some corned beef and just make mine a little bit different. But the general idea is having a tomato sauce with some egg inside, served with some yam. I'm not going to show you how to make the yam because I've done that before, but we'll get this going. And what I have here is I'm going to start it off with some onions. With some onions and garlic. Then I'll just let that cook. And I'll stick in some mushrooms. I'll just let that cook down and brown a little bit. And then once that's cooked down, I'll put in the corned beef and the frankfurters as well. As I said, I don't really have a rule. Again, when I cook a lot of the time, I have one thing in mind and then I tweak it as I go along. So frankfurters is something that I just thought, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have more meat inside it? So we'll stick that in there. I've got some chopped tomatoes and some sliced tomatoes, and this will be the main part of the sauce, and then this is just really to make it look pretty, but I don't know, you'll see what I mean. You can pause now. This is now cooked down a bit and it's browned a little bit, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick some of the frankfurters in there and have that brown with it. Then I'm going to stick this in there as well. To be honest, corned beef is not bad. I don't know, what do you think about corned beef?
I think it's poor man's food.
I do think it's poor man's food, but again, I don't think everyone can eat oats. I don't think everyone can eat very sophisticated food because it's just not sustainable. But I do think that you should be able to buy it and, you know, do something nice with it and dress it up and, you know, have a nice hearty meal with corned beef. So I'm just going to use my spatula and just cut it up a bit more because corned beef is like really chunky. You need to help it. Again, it's very salty, so I've not put any kind of like seasoning in here. Corned beef is quite salty because I think it's, the way it's its whole point about it is that it's like preserved food. And so you should really just be able to open the can and eat it. So it's preserved with a lot of salt. So when I cook with it, I'm very sparing with the seasoning that I use. So again, I'll just leave this to cook a little bit. And then what I will do after this is stick in the chopped tomatoes. And so I've stuck in some chopped tomatoes from a can. Again, I'm not snobby about that. I'm just going to rinse out the can and the little tomatoes left in there and stick it in here. The reason I've done that is because I didn't have enough tomatoes at home. I had only 4 tomatoes, which I cut up and I'm going to stick in there as well. And I'm just going to put a little bit of one stock cube. As I said, I'm very sparing with the seasoning just because corned beef is slightly on the salty side. And then I'm going to use some rosemary and like a dried herb mix. It's got rosemary, it's got, what does it have in it? Basil, oregano. If you have it fresh, use what's fresh. That works as well. I don't have it fresh and I'm not going to go out and buy a plant that I'm not going to take care of. So I'm just going to work all of this in. Work it all in. Combine all of it. I know it looks like a mess right now, and you're like, what the hell is this stuff? But I can assure you. Look guys, so it's bubbling away. I'm gonna let it bubble a little bit longer. And then maybe I'll let it bubble for like 3 more minutes. Cook for 3 more minutes, and then I will stick the eggs in and then put it under the grill. Okay guys, so I'm adding the eggs to it. Without breaking it. So I'm just gonna crack the egg. I hate cracking eggs because I hate shells going in things. And I'm going to make a little well right there. I'm just going to stick that in there. Okay. So I add it, make a little well for it without breaking it. That goes in there. And I add this last one. And I'll make a little well for it. And that's that. Okay. That's 5 eggs in there, and I'm going to take some kind of like gluten-free cheese. It's a cheese substitute. Dairy-free cheese. Oh, I'm sorry, someone just corrected me. So again, I wasn't going to put this in, but this is like a last-minute thing, a last-minute addition. And I thought it'd be really, really nice to have a little bit of a kind of like cheesy thing going on the top. So this is now going to go under the grill. And then I will show you what's going on after. This is what it looks like after it's come out of the grill with the eggs that are cooked. I like my eggs quite well done, so they've really cooked. I don't really like them runny. So I'm just going to take a portion. And it's still quite like a sauce though. It's not like... No, I think it's fine if it doesn't hold its shape. And I'm just going to spoon that in there. And oh my god, look at that golden yolk. Oh, amazing. I'm just going to stick that in there. And a little bit more. And that's it. So I can take my peasant food on a Sunday and go and eat it. And I don't think, I mean, I think it's just something different from having the usual roast or potatoes and chicken. That's just boring. I think just change life up. Have something that's simple. All of it took like, what, an hour to prepare and cook, which is not very long considering that it's lots of different components to this meal. So we're just going to go now and we're going to go up and eat. So